In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Dear students, I am Dr. Khurram Shehzad from National University of Modern Languages, Islamabad. I intend to make a video about structuralism. Since we are reading literary theory, we have covered some of its components such as new criticism and Russian formalism. It is time that we should move forward and we should talk about structuralism. In this regard, dear students, I intend to make two videos. So first of all, I will be talking about its historical perspective, and I'll start with Saussure. And then in my next video, I will be talking about some of the basic principles of structuralism. So let's talk about Ferdinand de Saussure. We should also remember the role of Ferdinand de Saussure is very important because structuralism starts with it. And when we will be moving to post-structuralism, again, some of the ideas of Saussure will come in front of us. And we will see that how post-structuralism will be making its contribution, taking the theory of Saussure, and then they will be adding their own ideas. Derrida will be working on them. Saussure is called the father of modern linguistics. In the second part of the 19th century, Saussure, he started delivering lectures in the University of Geneva, and his students, they were making notes from the lectures that he was delivering to them. And when he died, posthumously, his lecture notes, they were produced, they were published in a book titled A Course in General Linguistics. Basically, Saussure was a historical linguist who studied the evolution of sound patterns in the Indo-European languages. Historical linguists in the 19th century and earlier were devoted mainly to find out the prototype or mother languages from which modern languages were thought to have evolved. Dear students, it was the time when historical linguistics or diachronic study of linguistics, it was in vogue. All the people, they were trying to understand that how languages, they were evolved from some other languages. For example, the Indo-European tree of languages is being mentioned here. So English is an Indo-European language. Sanskrit is an Indo-European language. German is an Indo-European language. This devotion to the past was based on empirically derived premise that some languages evolved from the same ancient language. For example, the Indo-European languages like English, German, Sanskrit, and Latin shared structural similarities, causing theorists to assume that they actually were, at some point in the past, just one language. So this was the time that all the people, they were trying to understand language diachronically. They were studying language diachronically. So Saussure became upset with this situation and he left this idea and he started talking about and he started studying language synchronically. So it means that there is a difference in synchronic and diachronic study of the language. Saussure came to a point where he became disillusioned with historical linguistics and he wanted that language should be studied at a particular point in time. So in this way, synchronically, the language was being studied. Then Saussure gave another concept, and this concept is called the signifier and the signified. According to Saussure, language is a system of signs. Remember, from here there is another area of study that is called semiology or semiotics. It comes into being. So Saussure is also called father of semiotics. And in America, it was Charles Saunders who was talking about semiotics. So when we study signs, how or what do they signify, then we are dealing with semiotics. Saussure talked about sign and he says that sign is equal to signifier and signified. A sign functions like a coin or a sheet of paper. Coin has got two sides and a sheet of paper has got two sides. So a kind of metaphor is used here. So coin, it has got two sides. So one is the signifier and other is the signified. So they are inseparable. So they work together. When sign, signifier and signified, they are working together, they produce a sign. So coin, it has got two sides. Sheet, it has got two sides and they are a sign. Like a coin with two sides, the first side consists of the form of the sign. So on one side there is form, how I speak, my utterance, the word I am pronouncing, like marker, like mobile, like book. So the word book or the written expression on a piece of paper, book, is signifier, and it is evoking a concept here in the mind that is signified. The concept of the sign, on the other hand, refers to a mental image which registers in the mind. So concept and sound, signifier and signified, they are combined together and we get a sign. On the road, we come across different kinds of signs like yellow light, green light, red light, and they convey meanings to us. Same is the case if there is a policeman standing on the road and he gives this sign, it means that you should stop. And when he says that you should move, so this is how language, it is conveying different meanings. So red color is a color of love and red color is a color of death, bloodshed. Black color is a color of, death. Black color shows evil. Black color shows that there is some kind of destruction. White color, in Indian culture, it has got different meaning. In Pakistani culture, it has got different meaning. And in European culture, it has got different meaning. And then some of the meanings, they are universal as well. A woman wears a white color in India when her husband dies. And a woman wears a white color in Europe when she is getting married. And we find its realization in different movies. Indian movies you will find. In Pakistani movies and dramas you will find the realization of different signs and symbols. So even language is a symbol. It has got code, and these codes, they have got meanings. So this is how semiotics is talked about. So look at sign is equal to signifier and signified. The concept of tree is given here. Magnum, signifier. When I utter this word, magnum, it creates a mental image in our mind. So the image of the magnum is signified and the word that I am speaking is signifier. Both of them are combined together and we get a sign. So this was one of the aspects of Saussurian linguistics. The relation between the signifier and the signified is arbitrary. Yes, it is illogical. Because we hear language, it is being used in the society. So how people are using the language in the society, Saussure was interested in it. Of course, language is used in the society. It has got social aspect. So arbitrary, it means that there is no intrinsic or natural reason why a particular form signifies a particular concept. Our parents, they call that this is a chair, we call it a chair. Our parents, they call that this is a fan, so we call it a fan. Our parents, they call that this is a table, so we call it a table. There is no intrinsic or inherent reason that why should we call it a table. So signifier, teacher, maestro, guru, master sahab, and look at the picture, signified. So there is no inherent one-on-one relationship between signifier and the signified. But according to Saussure, both of them are tied together. Signified is tied to the signifier. Signifier is tied to the signified. And then we get a sign and the meanings are stable according to structuralism. according to this theory of Saussure. Another concept that Saussure talks about is called langue and parole. So we should differentiate between langue and parole. Saussure's proposition is for us to stick to the study of the abstract system. What is the abstract system? Abstract system resides in our mind. Langue, the ability of the human beings to speak the language. And it is not the ability of one person that we are talking about, because language is shared by all human beings, at least in one particular culture, in one particular society. So they are sharing the language. And this language has got rules and regulations, because we know that what sounds they will be combined together to produce a phoneme. We know that pa and ba, they cannot come together, though both of them are bilabial. Though one of them is, there is vibration, and in other sound there is no vibration. Vocal cords, they are not vibrating, but still there is a difference in them. And we know that pit, bit, sit, fit, every time we are changing the first sound, we are getting a new word. So phonology, he was talking about how language, how sounds, they are combined together to produce meaningful words, to produce phonemes, to produce words. How morphology works together to join words, how syntax works, and different kinds of words, they are joined together in English language. So he was talking about this system, and he believes in system. And when we talk about system, it means that it has got a structure. And when we talk about structure, it means that it has got rules and regulations. No system works without rules and regulations. No system works without structures. So today in structuralism, we are talking about the inherent structures of each and every object that we see in this world. I have got a structure. This building has got a structure. So if you make this building, you can make alterations in it. You can make this room a bigger room. You can convert it into a hall. You can convert the hall into a smaller rooms, because the structure will remain the same, but the other alterations, they can be carried out. And system allows this thing. New words can be added. Some words can be removed. So there are limited number of rules, and with the help of those limited number of rules, unlimited number of sentences, they can be produced. Saussure was talking about this system of language, and he believes that we should study this system. We should study langue, which is here. We should not be studying parole, which is the individual speaker's manifestation, realization of that system. So Saussure was not interested in parole. Saussure believes that we should study the system, we should study the langue. Later on, Chomsky also talked about almost the same thing when he gave the idea of competence and performance. And Chomsky also talks about and prefers competence, and he believes that we should study the competence of the person and we should not be studying the performance of the person. So Saussure was also interested in langue, in the system of the language, that how that system is producing the language and it is being used in the society. So all these things that are here, they have got systems. Video making system, how video is to be produced, how YouTube works. So there is, front of something that I can see, you can see, everybody can see, and there is an inherent hidden system which is working behind YouTube. So when you study those systems, we are dealing with structuralism. Because Saussure wants us to study language in a systematic, scientific way, it is therefore understandable that his linguistics would focus on the langue rather than the parole. The langue is abstract and is therefore easily systematized. Parole is messy, forever changing, and therefore extremely difficult to capture in any system scientific investigation. Remember, we are talking about last part of the 19th century. or early part of the 20th century. Though now the things have changed and corpus linguistics deals with performance. Later on in some other video, we will be talking about these concepts as well. The third concept that we should talk about today is syntagmatic and paradigmatic relationship. So this Saussure also talks about language is written syntagmatically in a sentence. It has got structure. It has got subject, verb and object, NP, noun phrase, VP, verb phrase, and then another NP or PP or adverb phrase. So this is how we are combining the structure of the language and we are producing a bigger structure. Smaller constituents, they are combined to make a bigger structure. So according to Saussure, language works syntagmatically and paradigmatically. Look at this syntagmatic and paradigmatic division. Blue is my favorite color. So blue is here working as a noun. So noun can be replaced with another noun. Instead of blue, we can have green. Is my favorite color is a verb. Verb can be replaced by another verb. So blue is, green was. My favorite color, green was their favorite color. Purple will be his favorite color. Yellow wasn't her favorite color. So we can see that blue is my favorite color. Language is working syntagmatically and we can change the words according to the class of the words. So blue can have green, green can be replaced by purple, purple can be replaced by yellow, is can be replaced by was can be replaced by will be. And then another NP which is coming after the verb VP, it can also be replaced. Ali teaches us English. Ahmed sings a song. Ali will be replaced by Ahmed. Teaches can be replaced by sings. Us English can be replaced by sing a song. So this is how language is working. And again, this concept can be applied to literature. So in literature, we have got a story. For example, if we look at some of the Russian formalists, they were also building up the structuralist ideas. So X marries Z. Y is the husband of Z. X kills Y. And then X marries Z. So this is how we can talk about the structure of Oedipus Rex. We have got a prince. We have got a princess. We have got a stepmother. So Cinderella story will come in our mind. Snow White story will come in our mind. So syntagmatically and paradigmatically, if we keep on changing the characters and we keep on bringing new characters into it, we can produce unlimited number of stories. All these stories, they have got focalizer. All these stories, they have got narrator. Sometimes there is first person narrator. Sometimes there is second person narrator. Sometimes there is omniscient or third person narrator. In every story, you will find a hero, villain, heroine, and you can build up a story. So these are the constituents of the structure, and this is the structure of the whole of the story. So this is how, structuralism, it works. We are trying to understand the inherent structures, the inherent constituents of the literary text. Aside from the synchronic and diachronic dimension of the sign, we can approach language through its syntagmatic and paradigmatic aspects. These aspects actually refer to different types of relations that sign can have with one another. Of course, syntagmatically, sentence is produced. These signs, these codes, they have got relationship with each other. That is why a sentence is produced. And we can keep on changing and we can bring something else. Ali can be replaced by Waqas. Waqas can be replaced by Shan. Verbs can be replaced by other verbs. So paradigmatic relationship. Have a look at this. The boy sang. The man died. The man cried. So syntagmatically and paradigmatically, language works like that, and literature also works like that. The ridiculous girl fell into the pond, and you can produce as many sentences as you can. Well, dear students, today I have talked about Saussurian concepts of structuralism. I have talked about that there is a systematic nature of language. I have talked about his concepts of sign and signifier, his concept of diachronic and synchronic study of linguistics. I have talked about paradigmatic and syntagmatic relationship, and I have talked about sign, signifier, and signified. There are some other things that we should remember while studying structuralism. So these are wholeness, transformation, and self-regulation. Remember, when we talk about a structure, it is the whole structure that we are talking about. When we talk about a poem, it is the whole poem that we are talking about. When we talk about a novel, it is the complete novel, the complete story that we are talking about. It means that the system functions as a whole, not just as a collection of independent parts. Though this building is made up of bricks and each and every brick is playing its role, we can take out some of the bricks and we can add something else, but we cannot remove all the bricks, then this building will fall. So all these bricks, they are playing their role. So all the characters, they are playing their role. The story, the plot, okay, each and everything that the author has written, the author has produced in the story or in the novel, they are playing their role. With the Tinker Toy set, it is hard to play with just the individual items. One needs the whole set with all the rods and holes and the rules they follow in order to make stuff at all. So there is wholeness. Secondly, transformation. It means that the system is not static but capable of change. New units can enter the system, but when they do so, they are governed by the rules of the system. So new words can be added in the language. New ideas can be added in the structure of the text. For example, sometimes in Telltale Heart, there is a mad person who is telling the story. In Sound and the Fury, there is a mad person who is telling the story. So how much and how can we believe that story? So all these stories, they can have all these perspectives. Some people will foreground omniscient focalizer perspective. Other person can bring in first person narration. So this is how story is told. Self-regulation. This is related to the idea of transformation. One can add elements to the system, but one cannot change the basic structure of the system, no matter what one adds to it. Remember. So in structuralism, we can sometimes have comedy, we can have tragedy. The elements of tragedy are different, the elements of comedy, they are different. So you can keep on changing some of the things and you can keep on producing different kinds of texts, different kinds of poems. I hope I have explained them well to you. Thank you very much.